So time for us to go into what the papers are reporting this morning. And you know what? Remember that this show is brought to you by Kenoga Company Limited and also by Syntex Tanks. My colleague, the one I call beautiful, Emefa Akosia Deti, is standing by the smart wall to give us what the papers are reporting, and then we get into the details. Akosia, good morning.
Good morning, Kujo. How you doing?
I'm well.
Okay.
It's always good to see you, you know.
Always, always, always. I told you that you're a joy giver, and so I'm happy when I see you. All right, so let's get into the headlines quickly. We shall just do this very sharply so we can get into other stories. But this morning, the News Guide Africa is reporting how Azuma Resources transferred full ownership of concessions to ENP after receiving $100 million payment. The full story is on page 6 of the News Guide Africa. Kujo, this is a story I think you have quite an interest in. Yesterday, when you saw the headline, you were quite excited about it. Well,
because when a Ghanaian is taking ownership of a mine in Ghana, it's something we all need to celebrate.
Right.
The money that would be derived out of it, large proportion of it will stay here.
I hope people focus on the positive, because this particular story has been marred by the negative ones before arriving to this point. So I think you should read the full story on page 6, and then you can understand why Kujo is of that assertion. But as well, distortions and misinformation amplified in Dr. Etiahene's article of non-interest banking and finance in Ghana. Story is on page 4 of the News Guide Africa this morning. There's a story about how MP is set to achieve new heights as well. The photo of the CEO in front of the News Guide Africa. We can go on and go to the other papers as well. Is that the photo of the president in front of the News Guide Africa? But let's move on to the insight. I'm sure that yesterday you must have heard how the OSP had amended the charge sheet for the ex-NPA boss. The insight as well this morning is reporting that ex-NPA boss faces 54 criminal charges, along with 9 others over alleged extortion, money laundering, and a lot over there in front of AL, and which means that there's a lot more. If you go on to read page 3 of the insight, which you might as well start the story in front of the paper before you get into the details. Anything interesting you?
I mean, Ghana cracking down on illegal vegetable oil imports. That's something we need to, because you see, if you want to help your country people check their health in terms of what they eat, this is quite very important.
And of course, for businesses as well.
Exactly.
For businesses
I didn't want to say it because
yeah, because really, what people's health is also as equal as their pockets, you know, and one must eat. Yeah. Well, so that's it. Of course, Ghana cracked down on illegal vegetable oil imports as TCDA, that will be the Tree Crop Development Authority, as well. They joined forces with the OPDAG as well to clamp down on that particular one. STEM education is the pillar for Ghana's growth. Molex Boxes and speaking, you're interested in that story, you should as well take a read on page 8 of the Insight this morning. Another story, NHIS reverts to manual process amid the LHIMS crisis. The story is on page 8. This has been crippling in slightly. There was a particular center that had a problem with, it will be system problem, and we reported that story, but it continues on the news, in the Insight newspaper on page 8. We can get on to, well, a story about how Ghana Water Company has been speaking. I'm sure we'll find it in front of another newspaper. But the new finder as well, fuel prices drop as CD strengthens, oil prices fall. Is this, Kujo, you love the dollar. Every time we talk about oil and the dollar, your eyes are just lit up. Is this, have you seen this? Have you?
Yes. Because, you know, the oil prices on the international market is coming down. So that in itself would push the oil prices down. But again, in Ghana, we know the cedi has strengthened against the dollar. So that will also have its own impact on oil. I know some OMCs have even reduced it at the pumps. So, yeah, when you go there. Yesterday, I don't know if you bought fuel. If you bought it, then you will know that it did.
It's so embarrassing to say this on TV, but I understand the liter and the gallon system. I don't know. I really don't understand. I just say, please, I'll buy fuel. And, yeah, when they say petrol, I look. They finish paying. I say, thank you. I get on with life, really. So, China leads Ghana's foreign direct investment with $840 million. As well, story is on page 3, undoubtedly. Yeah.
You see what's happening in Ghana, and every corner you turn, there's a Chinese investment. Yeah, they will be in the lead.
Well, what would they rather do? Sometimes you say that you're strengthening the economy so that you'd invite investors in the country.
Yeah.
Now, when they do, then you feel threatened as a country or as investors.
I think that you need to balance it.
Okay.
For example, how do you protect your indigenous businesses from being swallowed by the foreign companies? You know, that's something a government should be deliberate about. Yesterday,
that's why the president, when he was addressing about how they're going to amend the GIPC Act, a part of it that requires a certain amount of money for you to start a capital, foreign capital. Yes, it will be. Well, IMF board to decide on Ghana's fifth review in December. It's just a few weeks or months to December, so yeah. T-bills auction misses target by 55%. Story is on page 8 of the New Finder. Let's go into graphic business, of course. It will be Kujo's favorite paper. Virtual currency waves. BOG opens door to crypto, and 3.4 million people already in digital currency trading in Ghana. Another sector that people must really pay attention to. Now, access to capital, major hurdle for oil producers, Deloitte report. You're interested is on page 2 of the graphic business. I'll quickly as well go on to other stories on the other papers. This is the National Enquirer. Yes. Julius Deborah's vision for peace celebrated at Duamenefa. What is it? The Duamenefa?
Well, I think it's in your area, so you should be able to tell me.
That doesn't sound ever.
Okay.
Yeah, because you've seen something. You can find my name in there, right?
Exactly. So there was a festival.
Yeah.
Where he went to speak, so I'm sure that's where they are celebrating his vision for peace. He's a peaceful man.
You know, in the Volta region, there are as well some Guan communities in there, and so, well, but I'll look up for that name and probably correct it, pronounce it correctly. Now, Cabinet approved Ghana's first marine protected area. It will be a good read. You want to look at that in the Enquirer as well. That will be the most interesting ones in front of the news. Is that the photo of the health minister? Ghana needs 6 billion Ghana cedis to employ 74,000 unemployed health workers. Akanda has been speaking. We'll go on to other papers as well this morning. Quickly, we will do that sharply.
But the health minister has been saying that, you know, he said they would pay their own. So
those who are unpaid nurses, yeah, but of course there are some people who also that need to be employed and absorbed. So Kennedy Japan in commanding lead as Baumia suffers decline. This must be some poll, some different poll.
There's, I think there's an academic guy.
Yes, which we have engaged here before. Yes, he thought that global info analytics is quite skewed, and so they also went in to do another.
Global info has always come out to prove doubters wrong. Let's see if they'll get it wrong this time. Of course,
like I always say, popcorn in my hands with a bottle of Sobolo. You can enjoy it. The next year is right around the corner, right? January is just around the corner. Friata is well and not in hiding. Frank Davis, I recall when he had a conversation with my colleague Faustina Safo yesterday on the Pulse, was quite a grueling one because he wasn't quite forthcoming with answers, but Faustina managed to get some answers. But we've been receiving some answers. He's quite well and he's not in hiding. But that'll be how we'll wrap up the newspapers. A lot more papers, so we may catch up when we get onto the table as well. If you visit myjoyonline.com, you definitely will find some good reads over there, Kujo.
All right, thank you very much, MFA Adeti, with that one. MFA would now walk majestically to join us on the table as we introduce to you our guest. So on the table this morning, we have Ishaq Ibrahim. He is a lawyer and a member of the Dr. Baumia campaign. Also with us this morning is Dr. Sami Aye, a member of the NDC's National Communications team. So Sami Aye also works at the presidency. He's a big man. Good morning to you, lawyer and doctor.
Good morning. Good morning.
As all is well.
By God's grace, we are managing.
All right. Now, what we do around the table is that we give you a minute or two each to tell us what's really something you want to let Ghanaians know about before we even delve into the papers. But our third guest, who is joining us via Zoom, is Dr. Alidu Bukari Ben Soglo. He is a political scientist with the University for Development Studies. Good morning to you, sir, and thanks for joining us. All right. So let me come to you. Let me start with you, Dr. A.
Yes, good morning to our viewers and yourself and my co-panelists. I think that I want to use just 2 minutes to touch on some news that has started making rounds concerning an interview that the Deputy Attorney General granted to a platform about certain difficulties the Attorney General Department is facing in retrieving some information for extradition processes. I need to make it clear on this platform that at the core of this whole issue is two state institutions, wanting to exact accountability from Ken Ofori-Atta, who is obviously putting in place barriers. You understand? So for me, for the many Ghanaians who have longed for the feet of Ken Ofori-Atta to be held to the fire of accountability, the processes involving the onward, movement of documents from the OSP to the AG is or brings finality to the processes. I want to encourage them that you have state institutions that are interested in the matter. If the Attorney General Department was not interested in exacting accountability, they will not be writing series of memos to the OSP. What we must encourage now is for collaboration. There are those who have said that there's bad blood between the OSP and the AG. It is not true. In fact, before the OSP went on to his private practice, he was working at the AG's private firm. And so they have a good working relationship. Just that these are administrative issues that are happening. We are only encouraging the OSP to maybe double up in the exercises they are doing so that we can get to where we are today. But I've heard some criticism from members in the opposition. I'm shocked because this is the first time a conversation like this is happening. 8 years ago, this conversation couldn't have been had. Because 8 years ago, we saw state-sponsored intimidation, mounting of barriers, budgetary cuts, inability of state to provide resources for the OSP to work, where the OSP actually put it with his tail in between his legs, that some, serpents were chasing him. We saw this OSP, Kisie Jabin, having a press conference to tell us that the Zankwanoma or the Nekaba for it means that at the time, he was being prevented from working. Today, the narrative is different. Today, you have the Attorney General Department actually putting in place measures to support the work of the OSP. You understand the point I'm making? In making sure that accountability is brought. So for me, people see that they are difficult, but I see a good news. I see an Attorney General Department that is ready. The OSP itself has started some prosecutions. Are they not in court with the MPA, former MPA boss, for some alleged charges? The Attorney General has also been very busy over the past few months, sending people like Kwabena Dubuahin for prosecution, the NSS over 653 million Ghana cedis. We are looking at the Sky Train scandal and what have you. So both institutions are doing well, except that people obviously have the right to express misgivings and disquiet about maybe how sloppy they think the OSP has been. But for me, I think that there is real commitment to exact accountability, and that commitment will run through. And so the AG's memos only signifies his, urgent need from the people of Ghana, who have always shown the need or the interest in making sure that things are done. So AG will represent the country. They represent the interest of the people of Ghana. They represent the desire of the people of Ghana to exact accountability, and they will do their work.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yesterday we had an education from the AG's office spoke to us on Talk Story and said, well, the AG can still go ahead and do what he has to do without the docket. So
Definitely.
there's no need for the AG to be calling for a docket before it does something.
Before you initiate an extradition process, there should be a reason why you want to do the extradition. The OSP started investigations on the matter. And so if the AG has to send some documents, the AG will also need to do some
provided all the relevant documents
to the AG.
Yes.
That's what the OSP is saying.
Yes. With that
I think these are administrative conversations that we may not be privy to the details on this platform. But I am very confident that the AG and the OSP will collaborate to make sure that the right things are done.
That is fine. Yeah. Well,
yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm just tempted to respond to the cheap shot already fired by my friend, quite early shot. But I'll resist that, but try to tell you what is in my mind first of all. I think what is in my mind is obviously the MPP presidential aspirant campaign and some of the outrageous utterances uttered by some aspirants. And the general lack of outrage by the good people of Ghana, especially in the media. My reference is to what Honorable Kennedy Japan said. If he had been the presidential candidate for the MPP in the last election, I mean, he said word to that effect, that he wouldn't have conceded defeat. For me, if it was a mature democracy or some democracies, this would have been a serious issue. But it's like there's lack of general appetite to engage with this matter, rather than leaving it for some particular camp to deal with it.
That's his opinion, and so...
No, but you see, it is an opinion, but you see, our democracy from 1992, we've tried to consolidate it somewhere with some difficulties. And if someone to say that I would not concede defeat with the tension...
Until the last vote.
Yes! Considering the tension... Considering the tension that was hanging around, I say the decision that was made to concede defeat was a great error. No. A statesman who is after the welfare of the country, seeing that level of tension and potential for violence, will probably conclude that this is the right thing to do. And I think civil society would need to look at it from that perspective. That when tension and the potential for violence is high, and someone said that despite that, they would not even concede defeat, with the likely and potential violence erupt in the country, I think it is something we ought to be outraged about. But we generally lack appetite to engage in those areas. Having said that, I just want to respond a little bit to what he has said, that it is good that we are having conversation now, because this is about interstate institutions, because this is a government that has made it possible. But that is not true. If you look at who set up the office in the first place, if the office of the special prosecutor was not set up by Nana Akufo-Addo government, what conversation would have been taken among these state institutions? So you ought to credit where the credit belongs. And it is not true that the special prosecutor office did not do any work during the MPP government. You seem to subtly suggest that. You've forgotten that even President Mahama himself, in the Airbus scandal, was investigated by the same institutions. So I think it's just an early cheap shot you have made. The institution, the conversation is possible because somebody set up the office of the special prosecutor. And you ought to recognize that. And I believe generally he had been given the opportunity during the Akufo-Addo time to work. But for me, I'm beginning to doubt the relevance of that institution, because the aims that we had in setting up that institution, so far, it's like he's not living up to the expectations. And why wait till Matanami to sing? I'm not conversant with the last minute you said, but I believe the special prosecutor says to what that effect that he's my understanding of the translation that he's a lonely bird.
Yes.
And it seems to suggest he's fighting corruption alone without state support, which is not true. The act is very, very clear. He has been given powers equivalent to police powers to even effect arrests and make investigations if possible. And there are resources that are made available for him. So what support did he need from Akufo-Addo that he didn't get? And tell her the support he's getting from John Mahama that Akufo-Addo couldn't give him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's start from the papers.
You want to go to the third guest?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I always forget. Doug, thanks for joining. Now, let me give you also a maximum of 2 minutes to tell us what your own reflection before we get into the papers.
Doug, kindly unmute if you can hear us.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Already I see the two politicians are at each other. It's going to be a very interesting conversation, though. Yeah, so thanks for having me for the first time on your morning show. And my take on it is, of course, those who are willing to sell should be ready to also present themselves for accountability. And so that is all. That's the essence of democratic governance. And I think that what is just and what is fair is law. So why don't you bring yourself? If you have nothing to hide, why would you run away? That's my take on it. And don't also to the political terrain. I listened to a brother who is talking about the aspirants or the MPP aspirants. Yes. So we want a very good campaign, devoid of insult and all that. That's all that we are looking for as a country. And then we need a formidable opposition to challenge the ruling party come 2028 on 7 December. Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's go into the papers. Let's start from the Ghanaian Times newspaper, page 13. It says we need $300 million. That's the Ghana Water Company story you were talking about.
Yeah.
300 million Ghana cedis to dredge the silt water sources, according to the Ghana Water Company Limited. It says the Ghana Water Limited needs about 300 million cedis to carry out a major dredging and desilting exercise around key water sources that supply its treatment plant. The company explained that the exercise has become urgent because of increasing levels of silt, and that was posing a threat to its operations and water quality across the country. This is where we are. Dr. Aye,
yes.
Find the money.
Of course, these are, first of all, developmental issues with countries like ours. And behaviorally, we have also not done well as a people in how we manage our, sanitation issues and what have you, leading to a situation where weeds and dirt, filth have choked our system. So a Ghana Water Company is not able to get enough water from its plant. So I believe that government has heard the problem. Problems are solved every day by any government, irrespective of what government it is. Our attention has been brought to it. I believe that necessary steps will be put in place by the powers that be to avert the matter. And so we are very willing to look at it.
Mm. Okay, 300 million. Well,
yeah.
We've all this is as a result of our greediness as a people.
Yes.
Not just one government, but we've sat down to allow for our brothers and sisters to engage in illegal activities on river bodies, and this is the amount we need to cuff. Amount that could have gone into developmental projects, we need to now go and spend it in the silting water bodies. What must we do really to ensure that these kind of expenditures where they could be prevented, we indeed prevent them, so we could channel the monies into something profitable?
Better use. I think you've said it all. It's our collective, I'm not sure whether I could use a harsh word. It's like a collective stupidity as a people. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at some major cities around the world, like Accra, the terrain is almost like Paris. Mm-hmm. And even London. Look at the river. Some of these rivers could be used for even transporting products to inner Accra. But what can we see? I mean, look at the Abubulushi area all the way to Circles. Mm-hmm. Whilst government, as you said, not just one government, collective government have not made good use of it, like the way nature has given it to them in other cities. The individual citizens themselves are throwing rubbish and all sorts of dumpings inside the river, to the extent that it is choked. Most of the time, we don't even see problem with it until headlines like this comes about. And then Ghana Water Company, as you rightly said, I think they've already said this about a month or two ago. I think they had mentioned the way they wanted to increase water tariffs as a result of Galamsey activities. And they seem to suggest that the problem is on the increase. So I think the way we can solve them is to take the attitude of a collective problem, and all of us need to sit down and deal with it as a people. But you can see some people usually market it. Like, I'm not bringing politics again to it. As I say, we need to take it as a national issue. But when you're opposition, you market it as a government problem. When you take over, one expect that you resolve it. So I only hope that the government sees it no longer a Akufo-Addo problem, but a Ghanaian problem. And perhaps how do we change this particular thing. So I suspect that these funds are needed immediately, either in a form of tariffs increment or government actually giving them some kind of help to resolve it. But whilst we do that, probably we need to intensify campaign, especially people who are living around the water bodies, that they are not meant to dump items over there. Because the dumping in the first place is what choked them. And our lack of...
This is not really about dumping. This is about Galamsey activities, silting the river bodies.
Yes.
And then also sand winning, because they mentioned
sand winning. Well. Yes. But a sand winning sometimes is a natural activity. Maybe it just needs to be done in a controlled manner.
There are uncontrolled ones.
Yes, they just need to be done in a controlled manner. But I was just gathering the multiplicity of problems that will be there.
Yes.
I'm sure while Galamsey is contributing, dumping is equally contributing. Because if you go to the Abugulushi and other areas, I mean, Galamsey doesn't take place over there. But you can see
and Kojo, oh, sorry.
Okay. No,
and Kojo, we can look at how we can fund the Ghana Water Company. We must also be looking at how we can end the activities of Galamsey.
Yeah.
I know that over the past weeks, NIMOS has been very, and you can attest to the fact, NIMOS has been very brutal. They have been very ruthless in their operations and what have you. We have seen significant improvement in some places, but we are not there yet. I must agree. This is a problem that has lingered on for a very, very long time. The only way we can solve the issue is consistent operations, consistent attacks to remove our people from the illegal activities. You understand the point I'm making?
Is it okay?
It's okay, though.
So gradually we will get there. For me, I know that from where I sit and the information I have and the level of activities and improvement we are seeing in some places, whilst we are putting in place measures, whilst we are providing the fund for Ghana Water Company to desilt these water bodies that go into their plant, we are also putting in place measures for people to end it at the other side of the issue.
Yeah. Thank you very much. MF, I would come to you, but there's an interesting story here that if we don't...
Of course, before that, we'll go to Dr. Agbensoglo again for him to comment on... You can just look at him right by you, could you? If you look at him, I'm sure you remember that he's on via Zoom. Well, Doc, so once again, we're here talking about water, and this time around, there will be a specific amount of money that the Ghana Water Company Limited is looking for, 300 million Ghana cedis for silting, dredging as well. Now, one would be asking, do we not pay water bills? Is it that it is not enough? Or Galamsey has finally cost us to a point where how much we pay is not enough to be able to do this project? And where will we find the money, though?
Right, thank you once again. I think I've said this somewhere. Let me, if you permit me to repeat it, that Ghana is a failed state.
Oh, dear.
Yes, you and I, we pay water bill every month. As I speak to you, my came, I'm yet to pay due. So listen to expert commentary on this Galamsey and how much we need to treat water. I would say that I think we are just paying price for recklessness, we are paying price for poor leadership, and we are paying price for greed. So how did we arrive here? I listened to one of my brothers on the table there, a panelist. He's talking about looking at surrounding countries. If you just across Abidjan, look at the streets of Abidjan, and come to the street of Accra, you will ask yourself, what happened to our leadership? Of course, you're also talking about we the citizens. It's like we don't care, which is very bad. I think for us as a country, we just need to. I don't want to use the word reset. That has political meaning, but I want to say that maybe we just need to re-engineer the way we think, the way we do our things, and the way we plan. And so we should also be national to an extent that we don't just throw rubbish anywhere. This campaign was launched long ago. I think I remember then President Kufuor, the then Vice President Ali Muhammad, he took this very seriously, and the government that came after that, they actually did sanitation thing. They instituted every Saturday National Day sanitation, but still Ghana, I don't know what the problem is. If it is about the leadership, what about we the citizens? So there's something fundamental wrong here. So we need, as a citizens, to support the leadership to actually reorient and think the way we do our things. That's the only way we can solve this. Otherwise, we always pay price for water treatment. The question then is, where are we going to get this money? You borrow, and then it's just sort of like recycling. You go and borrow, come and solve another problem. Then the next time, the same problem resurfaces. You go and borrow again. To what extent can we continue borrowing and then paying and doing the same thing? So I think that, yes, the Galamsey thing is one of the biggest challenge on our hands now. I'm sure if this current government is able to fight it, that would be good for them. And then I believe that the way they started, it may end. We also need collective effort from everyone, not only political leadership. And above all, we just need to, rethink the way we do things as a country and as citizens.
Okay.
So not only politicians, but citizens as a whole, you and I in this studio this morning, we just need to rethink the way we do things.
Okay.
It's amazing when you cross other African countries, we have started long ago, and countries have even overtaken us. Simple sanitation, we cannot adhere to the cleanliness and all that. This is very bad. Yeah, so the question, where are we going to get money from? I think from IMF again, I don't know.
I doubt. Dr. Samaya is here. Let me ask a question for you. This 300 million, Doc is quite concerned. Where are we? Where are we? You said we have it. Anna?
Men would have no other choice. 300
million.
Yeah. I'm saying that's why
can't even be uneven.
That's what I'm saying. That even if the worst case scenario, even if government does not have it, we'll have to find a way of it because it is very important.
Okay.
If we don't find it, it is an existential threat to us. You understand? At the end of the day, we still need water. We need clean water. We need potable water. So we'll go every mile to do it. Since we've made a lot of payments in so many sectors of this country. There was a debt overhang of about 600 million at National Health Insurance Scheme. We've cleared it. There were a lot of debts in several sectors of the economy.
Well then, Doc, I think that you should be rest assured that they said that no matter what, they'll find it. Kojo, you were drawing our attention to another story, but...
You know the Wager Dam?
Yes.
When they spill it, we sometimes get flooding. Last year like this was very, very heavy. We are being told that wheat have choked the Wager Dam spillway. Now, will we sit down for the floods to come before we say we should have done something? What must we do? Dr. Aye, they should come to you.
Yes, I just read a story about wheat choking the Wager Dam. These are all administrative matters. Who is in charge of it?
Yeah.
Somebody must have been put in charge of it to do it. Some of these things are not even at the level of, central government. These are at the level of, institutional heads and what have you. And so, necessary measures must be put in place to.
You recall that, Doc, not to cut you, but you recall that there are calls to actually set aside a levy for sanitation specifically, yes, right? Which, if it's collected, the district level, it will be decentralized so that the district levels would have enough money to be able to deal with sanitation at that level so that we're not having these conversations nationally. I know that Parliament is on recess today. They will be back.
Yeah, there is.
And in fact, they're resuming today. I look forward to seeing whether this would find some expression in their conversations to see if indeed the sanitation levy would be increased. I think there's a certain levy that exists already. If it would be increased for us to make some good money to be able to deal with such a situation. And correct me if I'm wrong. It questions or it brings to the fore the conversation of our communality as a community. I mean, in the past, we were very communal.
Yeah.
It will be hard to want to sit on TV and you're discussing some weed that is filled in a particular community.
But this one, I think, goes beyond what the community can do.
Yes, because this one
is a what?
It is. It is.
It's very, very large.
It is. The assembly, right?
So you have a point because even aside the waterway, in our various, when you were talking about throwing rubbish, you were talking about the drains.
Yes.
That's where MFA comes in.
Yeah.
That our
Community labor
is gone. We dump refuse into gutters. Our houses, our frontages are weedy. We don't weed them. We're expecting someone to come from wherever to weed
But
them.
actually, it's expensive as well to want to have you had the people who collect waste come to your house? If you pay at the end of the month, it's quite expensive.
Yes.
So people dodge it.
Yes, people dodge it.
But why would you dodge it?
No, because it's expensive paying for buying the food and having to now pay for how to dispose of the trash. It is expensive.
Do you leave it in your house?
No. I'm saying that everything must be quite inviting.
So are you suggesting that systemically we should find a way of reducing the cost of
It'll
service?
be nice without me asking you. It'll be nice.
But I think we are all trying to speculate the possible solution. When I was listening to the gentleman on the Zoom, he used comments like Ghana is a failed state. I was tempted to resist him by saying, no, there's hope. But coming to think about weed potentially going to cause flooding, one is tempted again to agree with him that maybe perhaps he's right. You see, these rivers and other things, there should have already been a system set up, such as coast guards or river guards, to be looking into these things and to think of weed, common weed. Unless, of course, this weed is not the weed I'm thinking about.
Normal.
Those grassy things
Yeah,
that
that's
usually...
This one has gone over the water body.
Yes.
Yeah.
To think of that is actually a problem that she is saying Parliament would...
There's a conversation around
It's being
sanitation
called
level.
again, and they might have to look into it. What happened to the system that is already set up? And if there is a failure on that part, perhaps at the local level, I believe it's more likely to be in charge of local government.
Oh, yeah.
What will happen to the heads of them? Has budget already been allocated for such purpose which has not been used? Or has it been misused? Or what happened? Maybe questions of this nature need to be sent to the local level. And if there's a new system, maybe if the old system is broken, then we need to fix a new system, then maybe that's when Parliament comes in.
Yes.
There has to be accountability somewhere at the local level.
Yeah.
You see, otherwise, I'm tempted to believe the guy on Zoom. Sorry, I don't remember your name.
Dr. Wensuglo.
Yes, that when you said Ghana is a failed state, I was going to resist against you, but this new story is actually just weakening my response to you.
Would you have said Ghana is a failed state maybe
No, I would.
2 years ago?
I wouldn't say it. Even today, with John Mahama in charge, I wouldn't even say Ghana is a failed state.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
We have difficulties, but with this weed story, it's pushing me along his line.
Yes. and I also think that the local leadership of the Wager Dam.
I think the Wager by municipal.
Yes, I think that
They say they've been
must-
dredging the channel on a regular basis.
So what
according to the source, the aquatic weeds do not significantly contribute to flooding in the area. That's what
That's the response.
So we have nothing to worry about then.
That's what they are saying.
Okay then. Okay, we make progress then.
But there's this piece that Professor Douglas Boatin wrote.
Okay.
On the same gutters that.
Gutters of neglect, yeah.
You've read that?
Yes. Gutters of neglect, streets of shame.
Yeah.
The inconvenient truth of public collective failure. You want to take care? You want to give us a bit of that?
He says the state of Ghana's streets and gutters is more than an environmental concern. It is a mirror reflecting the nation's collective values, priorities, and responsibilities. The plastic bottles clogging drains, the stagnant water in gutters, and the heaps of trash littering the cities are not the government's doing. They are the people's.
People, yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Kojo, a story has my attention, especially because Thaddeus Sory was on PM Express with Evans yesterday, and a lot of things to discuss over that, especially we have a lawyer here. So he says that he's been talking about stated misbehavior, which many have largely said that it is too pedestrian. It's not specific. So if you remove a Chief Justice based on stated misbehavior and there's no clarity to it, we should put, many have called that, let's list it, what amounts to stated misbehavior. Here's what he said. He says that, and this is on my Joy Online, you can just take a read. He says that the framers of the Constitution intended it to be in a compact guide that reflects the expectations of citizens rather than a rule book spelling out every detail. Mr. Sory explained that constitutional provisions like stated misbehavior or incompetence must be interpreted through the lens of public expectation, since justice emanates from the people. He also said public confidence is central to the assessment of any judge or public officer. And then, quote, if the Chief Justice gets drunk whilst in office, that's stated misbehavior, end quote. He said, adding that such conduct undermines public trust, even if it's not explicitly listed in the Constitution. Yeah. So he goes on to say that it is impossible to codify every conceivable act that could amount to misbehavior. Do we agree?
I think so, yes. To add, so I understood what he said, and to add that to there is this famous legal theorist called Professor Hart, who has similar theory to that constitutions and human rights documents, they are written in open textures. So when something is written in open textures, it gives it the opportunity to grow based on certain interpretations and the way the vision of the state is moving forward. So something like stated misbehavior, one would have thought that it would be reserved, especially office such as the Chief Justice, which is more or less, according to Montesquieu principles, an equal arm of government. One would have thought that usually something serious would occur before you can even think about removing such a person. So, and if you just use stated misbehavior, and then you leave it that way, maybe they thought that as a people would take that particular rule that it should be reserved for something serious. They never thought we'll get some people like the NDC who will put politics into it and will try to define anything just to achieve what they had in mind. So for me, I think time has come for us to clearly state what stated misbehavior is, because this is likely to be repeated.
So while you agree with him that you're unable to codify what stated misbehavior is,
yes,
you progress by saying that you think we should codify it?
No. So he is saying it from that theory that stated misbehavior generally, as I said, because constitutions are usually written in an open textual form. They've written it for ideal situations. As a people, if we have a common vision, we'll probably, we had in mind what, so stated misbehavior could be something like the elephant. You know what it is, but you cannot define it.
Is that not what the committee of inquiry is supposed to be curing? Yes. Because it is too, it's quite not clear. You then now, the Constitution now gives the power to the commission or the inquiry, the committee that the president would have set up, to now impute a meaning into what stated misbehavior
But this committee of inquiry, whilst they say everything should be held in camera, we had the opportunity to hear some of it. So if a committee of inquiry have to determine what stated misbehavior is, and you yourself do not even know, you are not given a copy of the case before you, of what amount to stated misbehavior, is that not an issue by itself? This is why
you're talking about the person who's been investigated.
Yes. She said she doesn't even have the case before her.
But while attending to the committee, she wouldn't know what she's been investigated.
No, but that is not enough. What happened to the right to fair trial? You should have the opportunity to prepare. If you just have to turn up, they say this is what you are facing. There's such a misbehavior on this. For me, yes, ideally we shouldn't state it. But what we had so far tells me that it's safer for us to state it. This is why they were saying that the president should have published a guide as to what amounts to stated misbehavior before the committee would even sit.
Okay, Dr. Aya.
I think that how would the president be able to publish what amounts to stated misbehavior? He's not the one that wrote the laws. He came to meet the laws. So we must put it in context. And the Chief Justice has not complained about fair trial.
Oh, he did?
Because, hold on. When the petition came, the Chief Justice herself wrote a letter to the president to be given 7 days to respond. Is that not it? The president gave her 10 days to respond. Upon responding, the committee met, sat down, she was invited, came with her lawyers. Everything went on. It was in camera. I don't know what happened inside. On the basis of that, the 5-member committee, including 2 of her colleagues at the Supreme Court, as I sit here, when you invite me and tell me that you, MFA, or my senior Kojo are the ones supposed to investigate me, I'll be happy. Because I don't have any issues with you. Because I know that you will be fair and your integrity is intact. And so right from the get-go, the CJ was jittery. And I don't know what caused that. You see, Emefa, the bar of a Chief Justice is high. She's the Chief Justice. When you and I have issues and we need interpretation, she is the last resort. She and her colleagues at the Supreme Court are the last resort. Indeed, she can pass a judgment for somebody to be killed or somebody to be executed. Is that not it? So if you, who is the bulwark of our judiciary and our justice system, we hear that there's a judicial service travel policy document where it says that when you are going on an official trip, because it is an official trip, the external department of the national security and the security details of the country that is inviting you is there. You can go with your family, whether your daughter or your husband or what have you. But if it is a private trip, because the security details are not known, national security may not be aware of it, you are going on a private trip, go with your security man or your policeman or your military man. The state will cover all the expenses. In fact, one of the responses of the Chief Justice, when which response actually came out for everybody to read, she agrees that she went on a private trip. Instead of going with her security, used the state money to pay for the daughter and the husband. They took per diems, went on first class or business class without hold on.
The husband also took per diem.
So we heard that about $10,000 was paid as per diem to the family members. This is in flagrant disregard of the laws of the travel policy of the judicial service, the very service that you lead. I don't think that we must encourage a situation like that. That's why I'm saying that the bar is high for a Chief Justice. You understand? We've had a leadership of some states, the Electoral Commission, Shraj and what have you. Because of some of these issues, some of them were removed. And we didn't hear this argument people are making. In fact, a Shraj boss under President Mahama, the same MPP guys went and petition President Mahama, and she was removed. So why is it that in one breath, another state, a head of another state institution has been removed by the same president, and the same petition has come, the same president has acted in the same manner, and now people are criticizing it and creating the impression as if the president was the one that wrote the petition, or the president was not fair, or the president was the one that sat on the 5-member committee. I don't think that we should encourage conversations like this. Indeed, the Chief Justice is allowed, per our laws, to consult any forum. Nobody will gag her to do whatever she wants to do. But the point is that the process was fair. Even before President Mahama came, some people, Professor Kwekwaza, petitioned His Excellency President Nana Akufo-Addo. Was President Akufo-Addo the one behind that petition? No. You understand? So these are processes. Even before the NDC government came, many people had ups to grind with the woman, you understand, or the Chief Justice. And so it's just due process that has gone on, and nothing untoward has happened. Council of State. In fact, I know that I heard that some of the reliefs and what have you, some of the content of the petition, the president himself actually said, oh, as for this particular one, the woman is innocent. Nothing untoward actually went on.
She never traveled together with both the husband and the daughter. Either of them were with her on separate trips.
But they were private trips.
But you say...
So I'm saying that, so I didn't create the impression that they went together. I'm saying that she went on a private trip, which is supposed to go with a security detail. But that money...
Look at how ridiculous
let me end.
Okay.
Oh, but you are not the one that controls the time. so please forgive me. I'm saying that monies that are supposed to be given to security man on a private trip were given to family of the Chief Justice, which is against the judicial service travel policy that she is aware of, and she superintends. You understand the point? So I don't think that there are issues.
Wrong when she says, quote, traveling on my officially given vacations with my husband on one occasion and my daughter for the second vacation is part of the official conditions of my appointments as Chief Justice. You're saying she's wrong.
And so I'm saying that this is what we all heard from her responses and what have you. I'm saying that nobody knows what went on during the 5-member committee. You understand the point? And so that conversation must be held separately. So I'm saying that even if this is the situation, The trip, is it not a private trip? Or she's saying it's an official trip?
Yeah, because
how does this become
official?
I think that particularly, let's have lawyer respond. Okay. And whilst you're
no, I was just saying, no, he was talking about the policy that require her in her private trip to travel with security and not members of her family. Look at how unreasonable it sounds. Even if this was a policy, don't you think this is a very unreasonable policy?
Wouldn't that be a B to the point we're discussing? Yes, some laws exist so much that not a lot of people are happy.
No, but this is a policy, it's not law.
The policy.
This is a policy.
It's an administrative policy.
Yes, so policy is not really law. Oh. And this is a, yes, but that's clear. Policy is not law. And this even, look at this unreasonable policy, that she can travel with her security, and not members of her family. So, but okay, let
me ask you a question. Just a second. Just a second. The president says that no appointee should fly on first class. It is a presidential policy. So people should flout it because it is not a law. Is that what you are suggesting?
No. I'm just saying that. But there's clear difference between laws and policies. Oh. So, but let me make a greater point. Look, at this stage, I'm tempted to even quote the Bible of Jesus saying that let those who have not seen cast the first stone first. Are you saying that if we were to leave the judiciary and come to the executives, you will not even see evidence of politicians, ministers, using even state money to sponsor their side chicks, even on travel? Not even wives.
But this is just I think when we do that, we invite parts of the debate that is not on the table yet.
Yeah, it's not. But
because in
I just want you to show how ridiculous it sounds. The very people who are even removing
these are two. So these are two line of arguments. These are two line of arguments that the preacher man preaching on the podium is never seen. I don't think that's what the argument is. That we're seeing that the Chief Justice feels unfairly treated. Yeah. And we're trying to look at what amounts to she feeling unfairly treated.
Yes.
Now, for example, these using of funds, whether it was paid to her family, whether to her husband, whether to her child, they did find expression in the Auditor General's reports, which was one of the main points that they pointed out.
And what's correct?
It didn't at all. They say that it didn't find an expression in the Auditor General's report for them to. That's quite a new information I'm having here.
No, I knew about that. I remember mention of it. The Auditor General. No, there were other aspects that was captured.
Yeah.
But they didn't have problem with it. In fact, they had invited comments from there. And when she gave those explanations, they were satisfied.
And they were interested in maybe refund?
No, they were not. No.
Okay.
They were happy with it.
So what the Auditor General report
and then we use it as a basis to remove it.
Okay.
But who said that's the reason?
She's providing that information.
Okay.
So what the Auditor General's reports, because what the Auditor General's report does, it's not what we are seeing. Because once it says that, well, you misappropriated, but we don't mind.
Okay.
The judiciary or the judicial service will now look at it whether it amounts to misconduct.
Misconduct.
So these are two
yes. So from my understanding,
do you understand?
Okay. The Auditor General flag it.
If the Auditor General says that, well,
I understood there was explanation.
I thought I found a very great expression in the Auditor General's reports. This is new information to me. I didn't think that. I thought it was, and so in fact, her lawyer, Nikwe the former Attorney General, Ayikwe Otu, thank you. He constantly made the point that, in fact, why take her out of office when you could just surcharge her? So if it didn't find expression in the Auditor General's report, then why would her lawyer be seeking for this option? But of course, we all know lawyers. We don't speak for the Chief Justice and all of that. The conversation has become so...
What do you mean by you all know lawyers?
I mean, we're not lawyers. We're just trying to get... You are a lawyer, but...
Why you say we all know lawyers?
No, many people who are part of the conversation. Okay. You can only have general conversations, but you may not be able to interpret the law, right?
Okay.
But if the lawyer suggests that, well... it is too small to want to remove the Chief Justice, because then if indeed you say that she misappropriated certain funds, why don't you surcharge? Why don't you? The other parties also argue that once it takes expression in the Auditor General's report, it's an admission of a certain misappropriation. And what the person who petitioned asks us to want to do, we cannot define it. It amounts to misconduct or what?
No, I don't think so. You see,
So then what did we...
My understanding
what
was
did we
that,
investigate her for?
My understanding was that there was a query in the Auditor General report, of which she was they invited her to bring comments. And when she brought those comments, they were satisfied with those comments. But what the lawyers seem to be hinting on is rules on proportionality and whether there are alternative remedies. Because this is a very important institution we all have interest in preserving. If there are alternative remedies, why breach proportionality and go for a killer blow? So if surcharge could have worked on it, or there are other alternative remedies.
There can't be a surcharge if the Auditor General's report says nothing. I don't know if you understand. You only surcharge a person if there's an admission that there was some misappropriation or some misuse of a certain
No,
fund.
I think it's just a suggestion that if indeed what they are saying is true, because my understanding was that she provided information to the Auditor General of which they were satisfied with it.
Okay.
And let go.
Okay.
So there was no need to revisit it.
Okay, well, back to our debate. If we have Dr. Agbensugulo on, as to whether stated misbehavior or misconduct should be codified, if I have you. Kindly unmute.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, I lost that part because of network challenge.
I apologize.
Yes,
I'm sorry for
I
that.
think I attempted to agree. I'm not a lawyer, as I may put it. I attempted to agree with those who are suggesting that stated misbehavior should be codified in the Constitution. So that should be clear, so that we all have the understanding of what should be wrong and what should not be, constitute what is determine misdemeanor or what a misbehavior or whatever, and we use it as a case to remove somebody from office. Yes, I will agree, but let me also add that sometimes I have problem with the way the NDC and MPP are arguing among themselves in respect of Constitution. For me, it's embarrassing and shameful. Everything about Constitution in Ghana is coded, and we agreed and signed. And it was voted for on 28th April 1992. As citizens, it doesn't matter who is on the seat, whether Mahama or whoever. All the person needs is to implement what the Constitution says he or she should do. So what is this about debate about who has done what? And of course, we have seen the past government did that. Even the same Mahama sacked someone from office. Why people were not talking about that? Now concern is on our Chief Justice. So I always said that what is just and what is fair is law. And law is simply what the judge says it is. So let's go there and then they interpret the Constitution. If Mahama is wrong, then the right thing should be done. Yes, I agree with those who are calling for quantification of what is misdemeanor in the constitutions. I mean, no Constitution. That is very good call. That's my position on it. Because otherwise, anybody can just do something and they say is this and all that. But once it's defined in the Constitution, I think it is fine. I agree with that perfectly.
Okay.
I mean, I hold that position perfectly. Yes.
Okay. Well.
MFA,
yes.
But you see, why are we even limiting it to that particular aspect of it? You understand? A recommendation was given. The recommendation necessarily didn't say that it is only that particular allegation or that particular charge or accusation that led to a dismissal or removal from office.
Oh, okay.
You understand the point I'm making? I just listed one of them that I heard in the news because it was published by Paula Domachiri and other people. You understand the point I'm making? So this process was done in the presence of the Chief Justice. She went for investigation. She sat down with the committee, head by her, came with her lawyers. The 5-member committee.
You seem to be happy about the committee. She and her lawyers are not happy about the committee.
She's allowed to express her grievances, her difficulties. But the law is the law. As she put it, you met your own colleagues, 2 of them, and 3 other people. You understand? The issue was discussed, investigations made, the issue deliberated, recommendations made. You can agree or disagree. But the point is that your colleagues and the 3 other people found that there was a reason for you to be removed. And that is all. You can appeal it anywhere, any forum you think you can discuss it. You understand? There's no problem. Nobody will gag her from doing that. But I'm saying that She is the Chief Justice. Like you rightfully said, the public expectations are high. If there is a document that spells out how things should be done, and in my view goes against it, there's every reason for you to be removed.
But she's also citing her appointment letter, given all of those conditions.
Right.
If those ones were in his appointment letter.
But the appointment letter, she presented it to the committee.
Yes.
Yeah,
I read on my, lawyer Thaddeus Sory was saying that you cannot cite a document that was put together by a junior. So does it mean that then, in fact, that those conditions were indeed in the appointment letter? If they were, would she be wrong if she did those ones?
Well, as I sit here.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, this is how we're wrapping up. Actually,
maybe that's why she's still fighting.
Oh, no
She
problem.
has filed another suit.
Oh yeah. I mean, I like it. I would have been disappointed if the Chief Justice just, said okay, and then no, I would have been, because then it's a proper way. No, because it's a proper
Litigation
way to
must
test
end at the end of the day. The lawyers say that litigation definitely must end.
No, Doctor, I'll be
But
disappointed, honestly.
It puts
Of
them
course,
to a test.
of course.
And it helps.
Of course, and it also puts the leadership of this country, irrespective of where you are, on their toes. That if you are a leader, the expectations are high. You must tread cautiously. You must do things that aligns with the way and manner you are supposed to operate. So for me, there's a lot ahead of us, and we will see how things will go.
All right.
MF,
Yes.
thank you very much. I think all of us have had a good day. We'll leave it here and come here with we have a lineup of interesting interactions here. We'll be going into the Ghana's fight against illegal mining. We understand that NIMOS has gone into other places to really, and then also we have an interaction with a young politician I admire so much, Edem Agbana. I mean, that guy, when he set out to go and win that seat, well, he won it. We have an interaction with him coming up next year on the show.